all of the paintings around me, this one, and that one, and that one, and that one, and even that one, were painted with only these 6 colors. This is not what my palette looks like. So what are the primary colors anyway? We've all been told since primary school, right, that red, yellow, and blue are the primaries, are the RYB primary colors. And what makes a primary? Well, it means that you should be able to mix all the colors of the spectrum from these 3 colors. And it also means that you should not be able to mix these colors from any other colors. Well, let's see how that works. Red and yellow, and well, what do you know? It makes orange, and it's a pretty nice orange. And I can make it a lighter orange by adding more yellow, and that's working pretty good. Well, let's do red and blue. Isn't that supposed to be purple? Yeah, sort of purpley. I guess I need a lot more red, maybe. It's just kind of grayish, brownish purpley. Not so great. Yellow and blue and... Okay, not so good. Well, why isn't it happening? Well, for one thing, what blue is blue? When you go to the store, you get like cerulean blue, ultramarine blue, phthalo blue. Which yellow? I've taught this most of my life myself and always had this frustration because no matter what 3 colors I'd give the students, the colors wouldn't all mix well. So we had a solution. We talked to other art teachers and they did the same thing. They'd have another red. This one's a little bit cooler, a little more blue. And then they'd have another blue. And this one is a little less purpley and a little more green. It's called phthalo. And that's naphthol red. And that was cadmium red. And I don't even know if this yellow is going to work. It's not quite lemony enough. I would want one that's even more lemony, something a little more green to work with this, but we'll try and make this work. Now, what if I mix, say, this red and that yellow, the new ones? Now, the oranges aren't so good. Well, if the color was more lemon, it would be even more of a problem. But let's mix, say, this red with this blue. Still not great. Oh, I know what I need to do. I'm going to mix this red with this blue. Oh, now we're going to get something that's kind of purpley. It's a bit better. And if we mix this yellow with this blue, oh, look at that green. So much better. But this is confusing. Now I've got 6 colors, 2 reds, 2 yellows, and 2 blues. I have to constantly try and decide which 2 to use to get which color, and none of it works that well. And theoretically, I should be able to take a blue, a yellow, and a red and get something close to black. But it's just more of a puke green going on here. Brown, green, gray, I don't know, but it's not black. Okay. By the way, if you're finding this information useful at all, click the like button for this video and we can share it with a lot more people. Okay, so here we go with what I really put on my palette. I realized, well, hey, there are 4 colors that are often used to produce a huge range of colors. They use it in printing all the time. In every sign you see, in every magazine, every printed brochure, all of those things, they're using 4 colors. Your desktop printer, so you already know what those colors are. CMYK, cyan, magenta, yellow, and K is black, because B is already used for blue. I'll explain more about the black later, but we're going to stick with the first 3 right to begin with. Really? And can you get these colors in paint? Well, yeah, now they're here. Magenta, yellow, and cyan. These are the start of the 6 colors I actually have on my palette, and that were used to paint all of these paintings. Let's begin. There's magenta. Here's yellow, primary yellow. And here's cyan. That looks a little different. Let's start off like we did, mixing the reddish color. It's actually magenta. It's a bit more purpley. And we'll put a little bit of yellow, just a little to begin. Guess what color we just came up with? That looks pretty red to me. Well, hold on, you're not supposed to be able to mix red from any color. That makes it a primary, right? Except you can mix magenta and yellow and come up with a really good red. And if we add more yellow, well, we get some beautiful oranges. Magenta and cyan. And we get a beautiful purple. Add a little more red to it, a little more magenta, sorry, and we can just get more and more that way. And we just add a little more cyan. We go through all the purples and the blues. We get a nice blue right in there, purple there, and a red purple there. This is looking pretty good so far. Finally, we've got cyan and yellow. Is this going to work? What do you think? Take the yellow. Well, that is a pretty bright green. And there's the lemon green, or the lime green I was looking for before. And the turquoise all the way up. Look at the range of colors and the purity of them. And I'm working with these three. What happens if I mix them all together? Well, if I'm pretty careful, I can get a pretty neutral grayish tone. Quite dark, but it's still not black. So that doesn't quite work. But it doesn't work with any colors, actually. Well, maybe, sort of. Well, that works extremely well, but that only covers 3 of the colors of my palette. Okay, well, let's get this out of the way. The next one is white, or white, depending on how you paint. For instance, this painting has no white paint in it. In fact, I did it entirely with thin down watercolors with rubbing. You have to use the white of the canvas when you're doing that way. So that's complicated, or a little more scary. It's more like watercolor, a little less forgiving. So let's just go back to using white. Okay, well, white is obvious. I use it to lighten all the colors. It's as simple as that. Well, they're all getting mixed together now. Well, wow, that's beautiful. I like it. That covers 4 out of the 6. And you're thinking, well, of course, the other one, well, at least one more is black, right? And then there's one mystery color. Well, hold on. Sorry to say, no black. None of these paintings include any black paint. Well, there's really not enough time in this video to cover that, so I'm going to invite you to watch the next video, which will cover what are the last 2 colors on my palette and why I don't use black and why you might want to use black.